Hey everyone, welcome to God of War. Now, first and foremost, we are continuing on from our last episode in which we took on the nephews of Odin.
Look, back with
Not
the giant's
is it
head.
Odin or Balder? Balder's nephews, I believe it is. Anyway,
What is this place?
Fishermen would bring their day's catch into this
basically,
port and
I'm
use that
having to
contraption to send
record
some of it
this
directly to
afterwards
the
because
Jarl's main kitchen.
I
Yes,
couldn't
or
record
something
audio.
so.
Basically, I wanted to record the
There's an
episode, but I
exit
couldn't
under the
record
tunnel.
audio
Find a
simply
way across.
because I
It's moving.
and the reason why I've missed a couple of episodes the last week or two. Basically, I've had emergency dental work done, and the long and short of it is about to have dentist treatment to take teeth out. And obviously, if you've ever had a tooth out, it bloody hurts and it's painful, and it puts your mouth out of commission for a day or two. And I've had one out on each side, so my my voice was not the best, and it's only just about recovered. So I'm sort of adding this in post. So apologies for that, but as opposed to just letting it lie and obviously just doing an intro, I'm going to try and do a fair bit of the episode for you. I thought it'd be interesting to
There's an
explore
opening.
some of the lore
Get it.
of God of War and also the lore of the Nordic mythology as well, because there's actually quite a bit in this episode that gets explored.
Path to the exit.
Now, there's also a very, very cool bit at the end of the episode, so I want you to stay tuned for that if you can. And again, apologies that this wasn't live. Again, this series didn't get off to a great start, did it? Unfortunately, life happens, and as I've said many times before, I do this as a hobby, so just bear that in mind, guys. It's a hobby. It's not professional in the sense that I'm making money from it, and you know, I do have life to deal with, like we all do. So anyway, in the last episode we dealt with I think it's Maggie and Modi, which are the two brothers that you fight. Right after that, Atreus's fever returned. Now we've only ever seen Kratos mention this so far, so we've never actually seen Atreus with the fever. But I think it's going to sort of play a role throughout the game. We've just recovered the magic chisel, at least part of it, so we can now open those really cool doors that you've seen, the ice doors that we've seen. We can open those now, which is awesome. So right here, all I'm doing is basically solving a puzzle on how to get back on track. Now, obviously, if there's any major story points, I will obviously shut up like I would normally, and you can listen to what's going on. Obviously, if they're just chatting, then I'll keep talking. So I hope you enjoyed this episode for what it is, and again, I do apologise that the series has got off to a bit of a rocky start. Obviously, as I said before, we missed an episode or two, and I do apologise for that. It's just that everything's happened at once, Christmas, blah blah blah. Anyway, you didn't come here for that. So recently, what we've seen with Kratos is an evolution. Now, in the other games, in God of War 1, 2, and 3, Chains of Olympus, and Ghost of Sparta, we see a very one-dimensional version of Kratos. Very one-dimensional. He's angry all the time, which is fine if you just want this really cool action hero. Now, in this game, you see a lot more of an evolution of him. I fought Kratos before, but now I haven't got the pressure of playing as well, I can talk about it a bit more openly.
Back under his palm.
So,
We're almost there.
we have a situation where obviously family's involved. Obviously, Kratos remarried, and he
Everything was
has
just
another
it.
son.
Climbed around a dead giant. Rode a giant falling
So
hammer.
he
Watched the neck
is
off. What do you think mother
changed.
was?
At the start of the game, he
Bet
was
you
very
have
much
come
the
a
old,
long
rough
way.
Kratos, but in this game, he's very much a bit more restrained, shall we say? Not restrained, that's the wrong word. Controlled. I think that's what that makes Kratos quite scary in this game, especially to his opponents, of course, because in this game, it's like his anger's been refined, which is, I think, that's even scarier than having this unrelenting rage. So, but yeah, I think that's really cool that they've evolved the character. It took them 5 games to do it, but he got there in the end. And what we're doing here, just to go back to the game very slightly, is we've actually found a hidden chamber. We've opened a hidden chamber. Now, this is going to lead to a pretty brutal fight. So I'm not going to spoil too much, obviously, ahead of time, but it's going to lead to a pretty
Another one.
brutal fight. So I'm going to shut up here so that you can
You
listen
know
to this
this one,
dialogue.
don't you?
It's Damu, the giant stonemason. Is he building a wall around Jotunheim?
It was to be his masterwork. He only wanted to protect his people.
Too bad the first part got burned.
I prefer the last panel was burned. Such a senseless pity.
This place. It feels like a prison.
That would explain the hefty magical lock on the outside.
But it's more than that. I have this feeling like something is waiting for us down here.
You've a knack for ominous statements, lad.
What kind of something?
I'm not sure. Something powerful.
Whatever you feel, boy, we will handle it. We have come this far, yes?
Yes, Father.
So at this point in the sort of chamber, I knew that we were getting tooled up for something. I was talking about this in my own head. Obviously, I was sort of muttering to myself some ideas what to talk about when it comes to this. And when you're being tooled up for a fight, you just know the game's doing it for you.
Valkyrie. Imprisoned? She actually did it.
A Valkyrie? But I thought they were just spirits.
Take caution, lads. A Valkyrie in the flesh. I can't think of a more formidable opponent.
She does not attack.
Does she even know we're here?
So yeah, we actually end up going up against one of the Valkyries, and this fight took me an hour and a half to beat it. Now, there's a few patterns here that are worth noting, and something that actually makes the fight very easy if you know what to look for. There's a lot of parrying in this fight, but there's also a lot of patterns. So she only uses about 5 attacks, but all of them have tells. All of them are fairly easy to spot, and I got killed very easily there, and I sort of realised that maybe this was a bit sort of out of my league. But I persevered, and I tried to look for the patterns. After a couple of attempts, I tried to treat it like a Dark Souls fight, where you spend a couple of deaths to basically get an idea and a feel. And after a few goes, I got a bit more of a feel for it. Now, the Valkyrie hits like a truck. There's no two ways about it. If she hits you, you know about it. It hurts. Don't let it hit you. Unless you're very high level. Now, Atreus is really helpful here because you need to keep pelting her with arrows. About halfway through this fight, I upgraded Atreus quite a bit to help me out. Now, as I say, there's quite a few tells for attacks. If you get the circle of yellow around it, it means you can parry the attack, and parry it you must. But some of the attacks have delays, you just have to watch for them. When she's done a big side attack like this, there's a very good chance you'll get a chance to sort of wail on her a little bit, and then you'll get that sort of follow-up with the wings. Now, one thing I noticed, that unblockable attack afterwards, actually, when she does the wing attack, she goes doof, 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 and then the big attack. If she goes into another parry attack or she backs off, she doesn't do that last doof at the end. So it goes doof, 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 and then doof, and then big attack. If she doesn't do that last one, it means that you've got to move or parry very quickly. If she does do that last one, see, there it is, that flap. Basically, that's her parrying you, trying to get you off your guard so she can hit you with that massive attack. And it's pretty much a one-hit kill at this point. So watch out. Now, the other attack she does is that rush across the floor, and she does a rush from the air. If she does a rush from the air, chances are she's not going to follow up. So if she hits you, she just hits you. If she does that one on the floor, chances are she's going to go straight into this this wing attack thing. But she does change it up, and when you get near the bottom of her health bar, she actually gets supercharged, so she gets a little faster, and she also hits a lot harder. So just be aware of that. Now, as I said, Atreus is helpful here because I basically used the, I remembered, there you go, see, she did a parry one there. I remembered that he had the wolves, so I just started utilising that because it actually stun locks her a little bit. So she kept trying to attack and she couldn't because the wolves were attacking her now. It's only about 5 seconds or so, but that's enough for you to run to a health stone, get yourself healed, which is awesome. Or activate your rage and just wail on her so you can get some health back. Now, I got her down to about 5% of her health 4 times, and my god, she hits so hard that I got one-shot a few times here. So be careful. Even if she's down to the last 5%, just keep to the pattern, you'll be fine. I'm just using light attacks mainly, and maybe the odd runic attack, just to add a bit more damage. But yeah, that attack there, that is brutal. That stab that she does, that unblockable one, it's brutal, and it's unblockable, so be very careful. Now, there's more of these around apparently, but I have yet to find one, so this is my first fight against a Valkyrie. Now, whilst we're talking about the Valkyries, I want to talk a little bit about what they are in Norse mythology. So, Norse mythology, and correct me if I'm wrong, by the way, I'm taking this from some books that I've acquired over the years. So, Valkyries are effectively usually warriors that scout battlefields after a battle or during a battle, looking for warriors to take to Valhalla. Valhalla, if you're not aware, is like the Viking paradise, effectively. Or heaven, if you will, as far as I understand it. Now, my Nordic mythology is not the best. I'm very much an ancient history buff, not an Anglo-Saxon one, so Scandinavia one, so bear with me. But as far as I understand it, Valkyries were all about sort of fairness, justness, and keeping war zones fair. And the idea was that effectively, if something wasn't quite right, they actually had the power to end the lives of warriors as well if something wasn't right. And these are emissaries of Odin himself. So, but they're not usually emissaries of death. In other words, they're not like this, where they go into battle and they start raging. They're not like this. So obviously something's wrong with this one, or maybe there's something wrong with all of them. I don't know. But this isn't how the Valkyries act. They basically, like I said, they are emissaries of Odin. So, something's obviously not quite right here. Now, as far as I know, heroine Valkyries, or female Valkyries, whatever you want to say, were more focused on keeping ships at war safe. Whereas more hero ones were more adept at land battles. But again, that's open to interpretation. Again, I could be wrong on all this. I'm just taking it from books that I've acquired because I love mythology. I think it's awesome. I should play the original God of War games because actually my Greek mythology is much better. Much better. Especially the period of the Odyssey and all that lot. So anyway, as you can see, I've died a few times here, and I'm going to skip quite a few fights now. I'm going to start cutting and splicing, because I think I ended up attempting about 25 times. Like I said, I was on it for about an hour and a half in total, and when I finally worked out the pattern, it was just getting more sort of frustrating, to be honest, because I knew what to do. It was just doing it. And obviously, because you can, the only reliable way to damage it is to block and parry, it takes a while. But once you get the pattern down, it's actually quite straightforward. It just takes a bit of time to get used to those tells. I'm just hoping there isn't a fight later where you have to fight more than one. I think more than one would be an absolute nightmare. But as I say, Atreus was really helpful here, and I feel like I started utilising him. The Spartan Rage is helpful if you've got it, simply because you take very little or no damage from her. The thing that was catching me out was when the rage ends, usually she's got to follow up very quickly, so you've got to be careful of that. As she follows up with quite a powerful attack usually, so it's either a parry one or a wing slash. So it's a wing slash, you need to dodge. Obviously, if it's a parry attack, you need to be ready to parry straight away. The problem is you can't activate your shield on rage mode, so you kind of have to be careful. So I found that the Spartan Rage was best as an emergency if I needed health. And she does drop health, and when you claim health next to her, it stuns her for half a second, so don't be scared to get health if you need it, especially if she's between attacks. So yeah, I start skipping ahead quite a bit here. You've seen the Valkyrie fight pretty much in its entirety now. You just need to see her go down. So when she does go down, quite a bit of exposition comes from Mimir, who, by the way, is one of the best characters in this game. I'm going to talk about him a bit more in a bit, but yeah, Mimir's fucking brilliant. He really is fantastic. We'll talk about him a little bit more later. So yeah, I'm going to stop talking now, and I'm going to let you watch the rest of the Valkyrie fight without me rambling, and I'll come back to you once it's all over. Cheers.
You have freed me from my corrupted form. You have my eternal gratitude. But my sisters remain trapped as I was. Take my helm. Find them. Free them. The fate of the Valkyries rests on your shoulders.
The fate of the Valkyries.
Sounds pretty important.
That's putting it mildly, lad.
What do you know of them?
A fair question, and yet not one easily answered. I know more than most, but much of their history is veiled in secrecy. My own experience with the Valkyries ends with my imprisonment.
You are avoiding the question, eh?
As I said, brother, it's complicated. I don't know why or how they become such wretched creatures, but perhaps if we can free more of them.
You want us to find more of those things?
The fate of the Valkyries, lad. A more worthy endeavor there is not.
It will be dangerous.
Well, that hasn't stopped you before, eh? That's the spirit.
So we beat the Valkyrie finally. Gunnar, I think her name was, and basically it explained that effectively the Sisterhood has gone rogue. It's gone bad. It's been corrupted somehow. So one of the side quests in this game, I believe, is to go find the other Valkyries, obviously beat them, I would assume, and basically put an end to this corruption. So at this point, I was actually looking for a quick way back to the main quest. Now, I was being a bit of a dunce here because I was looking at it and it looked like we had to go somewhere that wasn't the Bridge of Nine and it would take ages to get back there. But I was a bit of a dum-dum. Now, I think you have to go via the boat because it's quite a long conversation during the boat ride, which I think is actually quite critical. So I think that one you do need to take the boat ride and listen to that conversation. So I was just being a bit of a dunce here and just talking utter nonsense like usual. So by the way, if you like these tidbits of lore and background, let me know. I'll do more when I'm doing it live if I can. I'll prepare some notes and I'll actually talk about it more. I won't talk about the previous God of War games too much because I don't want to give spoilers away for anyone that does want to play it. God of War 1 and 2 you can get on PS3. I believe they might be available on PS4. I'm not 100%. I know that God of War 3 was actually remastered for PS4 and PS5. So might be worth looking into that. But I think if you're going to play the old games, definitely play 1, 2 and 3. Ghosts of Sparta and Chains of Olympus are fine. They don't add a terrible amount to the story, if I'm honest. But they're good games. They're good games. It's just, like I said, it offers a one-dimensional approach to Kratos and who he is and why he is the way he is, which is something I won't talk about too much here. But suffice to say, he's got more than enough reason to hate gods, even though he's basically become one. So we'll go back to the main quest line now, and like I said, when we get back to the boat, there's going to be a pretty long conversation, which is a lot of exposition, but it does explain things, quite a few things. So I'm going to let that play out, and I'll see you a little later. Cheers.
What now then? Maybe Freya ought to have a look at the boy.
No, I feel better now. I just needed to catch my breath. Where do we go next?
Well, now that we've got the giant's chisel, we need to learn the travel rune to Jotunheim, so we can carve it into that special gateway atop the peak, and open realm travel to the land of the giants.
You don't know it?
Alas, no. But the serpent did mention that the giants had entrusted that secret to Tyr.
Isn't Tyr dead?
Aye, but his hidden vault is very much in reach. The doors are beneath his temple, submerged in the lake for generations until our snake friend shifted his weight. There we shall find the fabled Black Rune of Jotunheim.
We could also explore some more. We got that chisel now, and that vault isn't going anywhere. Seems a shame to waste the boat.
We shall see, boy.
I can't believe Odin and Freya were ever married.
Love and hate are more closely intertwined than you might imagine. And since Odin hates the giants and they him, but Thor's own mother was the giantess Fjorgun, one of Odin's great loves.
So Thor's half god and half giant? Weird.
Once Fjorgun was gone, lonely ages passed for Odin. And as war with the Vanir raged, I could see what he really wanted beneath his bluster. And after no small amount of convincing, Freya agreed. For a while there, he really turned on the charm. He seemed happy. He seemed interested in making her happy. He granted her so many wishes I could scarcely recall them all. The peace held, and I truly believed all had worked out better than I could have planned. But Odin's true face showed itself again in the end. Oh, he won Freya's trust, and she taught him some of her Vanir magic, another choice she would live to bitterly regret. Sadly, despite his wise counselors' best efforts to persuade him that peace was the only true path to stave off Ragnarok, Odin never let go of his obsession with Jotunheim.
Enough. No stories.
Ooh, Tyr's vault is behind that magical lock.
The entrance to Tyr's vault is at the bottom of these stairs, whenever you decide it's time to go after the Black Rune, yeah?
Awesome. So we got back to the Lake of the Nine, and basically Mimir tells us a little bit more about Odin's relationship with Thor's mother, and who is a giant. So it was a giantess, shall I say. So whilst we're sort of asking about with the equipment and looking at how much money we don't have, I'm going to talk a little bit more about what my plans are with God of War. So obviously at the moment the plan is 2 episodes a week, Tuesday and Thursday. So the plan is that I'm actually going to start doing some exploring, some side questing. So that's either going to take the form of the Tuesday episode, or it's going to be a bonus episode. If it's going to be a bonus episode, they won't be every week. They'll probably be one every sort of 2 or 3 weeks, where we go off and do something different because of my schedule. Now, if we do Tuesday episodes as the exploration episodes, I can do them a lot more frequently, but it means the story will go a little slower. So you can comment if you like and let me know what you want me to do. It might influence me, it might not. Again, it's me playing it. I want to play it my way. So that's why you keep coming back to the channel, right? Because I play games my way. And but I do want to do a little bit of the side quests, and I do want to sort of power Kratos up a little bit. I feel like we might be a little bit underpowered at the moment. I also found another frozen flame for the Leviathan axe. I'm pretty sure it's here I find it. Yeah, there it is. So we actually get to upgrade it a little bit, which is good. So the main quest line is basically asking us to get the magic chisel so that we can use it to find a rune to get to Jotunheim, or Jotunheim should I say. We can't get to Jotunheim at the moment because the bridge is broken. We need a rune to get there as well, and we don't have that. It's been sealed, so we need to find that rune. We can't do that without the chisel, so that's why we went to go fetch it. Now we are going to do a little bit more of the quest line in this episode, but there's quite a big event at the end of the episode, which I think will send fans of the games into a bit of a reel, and but I'll explain the significance of it when we get there. So I'm going to leave you for a little bit. When something else happens, I'll be back to commentate.
See how that treats. And don't be letting that spit-fister of a brother of mine lay hands on it again. Where were we on that other thing?
What is it, dwarf?
There's this alchemist on Vari. Been working out in the Velander mines. Haven't heard from him in maybe, I don't know, 100 winters or so. Probably dead, but maybe you can find him. He's dwarfing like me. Wears a fancy green ring. Owes me a favor. You look?
If it is on our path.
Oh, I see how it is. Not a something-for-nothing type, are you? Fine. If you find Donvari, I'll make him whip you up something special. This entry stone here ought to get you inside those mines.
Hey, Brock. You found something interesting.
Did you now? Well, color me interested.
Ooh, Tyr's vault is behind that magical lock. remember setting foot in Tyr's vault.
Another one of these.
It's Tyr, but the middle panel is missing. Wait, I thought Tyr was a god, not a giant.
Aye, but he was loved by everyone, including the giants. Other than me, he was the only one they gifted with their special sight. Hey, I wonder if the giants left a triptych about me somewhere too.
Go ahead.
Actually, come on. Let me show you how to read this.
That is not
You've
necessary.
taught me so much. Let me teach you something. What if you need to use one and I'm not there? This will be fun.
Atreus.
Come on. You already speak it. Learning to read won't be that hard.
I know how to read, boy. Just not this tongue.
You're halfway there already then. Okay, so the runes represent a lot of different things. Some gods, some animals.
Wait.
Some... Oh, am I going too fast? Sorry.
Not that. Do you smell something?
Yeah, I do. Smells like... rain?
You ruined everything! I earned that fucking hammer! But now, everyone's gonna think I only got it because Magni's gone! It'll be a joke! But if I kill you, no one's gonna laugh at me! Oh, are you dumb? That your father's doing? Or did you get it from your mum? She's stupid and ugly.
Shut up! You don't know anything about my mother.
Oh, it's true. But I'm gonna get to know you really well. You're gonna be my new brother. Right after I finish killing your father! Whoops. I think I broke him. No. Stay back! No! This isn't over!
Brother, the boy.
Atreus.
You have to get into Freya quickly. There's no other way.
Cool, so we just saw a pretty big scene with Modi attacking Kratos and Atreus. And it's interesting actually because Atreus obviously gets angry again. And he has this little like bolt of lightning around him.
Freya's isn't far.
And it's interesting because obviously I discussed this a little bit before, but obviously Kratos is divine. He's a god. He's a Greek god of war. And obviously any of his offspring will be gods or half god, depending on obviously who the mother is. So it's pretty obvious that his mother, I don't believe, was a god. So I think Atreus is only a half god, but a god nonetheless. And because Kratos hasn't told him it's really interesting to me that now it's starting to come out, because Atreus is obviously hitting his sort of early teenage years, I'd say, about now. So he's developing as a person, and he's developing as a man. So it makes sense that, I mean, obviously, you know, we all go through it. Hormones go into overdrive, but you imagine someone with godly gifts. That would be a cocktail for disaster.
The mind expresses itself as an ailment of the body, never by God. By God believing himself mortal. I can only imagine. We're almost
So basically what Mimir is saying is what I've just said here. He is effectively a god that believes himself to be mortal. At least I think that's how I interpreted it. Now, what we're doing here is we're heading back to Freya to get help for Atreus, because she's about the only one that can help him. And even though Kratos isn't particularly happy about that, I think he'll do pretty much anything and get through anyone to save his boy. So that's what we're doing now. Now, again, there's going to be a cutscene here, which I don't want to interrupt too much. So I'm going to shut up pretty soon, and you can listen to that properly. And you can see what Freya has to say about the whole situation. But the Leviathan axe, by the way, is looking pretty spiffy since we upgraded it, so it's looking pretty cool. I love what that gold gilding it's got, and the
somebody just called the
really fancy hand. Really cool. Really cool. It's just, I've said this before, and I know I sort of repeat it a lot, but it's just nice to see a vulnerable side to Kratos, because he's been so concerned about showing strength, and now he can show a little bit of compassion, and I think that's really, really cool for his character. So yeah, that cutscene's coming up now, so I'm going to leave you for a sec, and I'll be back after the cutscene.
He is shaking.
It's serious. We must hurry.
Freya! Open the door! We need your help! Woman, do you hear me? It is urgent!
I'm still a god. Go away.
The boy has fallen ill! Freya! He is ill.
Inside. This is no ordinary illness. The boy's true nature, your true nature, fights within him.
I did this to him. Will you help me?
Of course. There is a rare ingredient found only in Helheim. The keeper that protects the Bridge of the Damned. I need its heart.
Hell.
The realm of the dead. Do you know it?
Not this one.
It is a land of unyielding cold. Fires cannot burn there, and no magic in all the 9 realms can create a blaze. As for the dead, your frost axe will be useless. You'll need to find something else.
Then I must return home. Dig up a past I swore would stay buried.
Who you were before doesn't matter. This boy is not your past, he is your son. And he needs his father. This rune opens the bridge to Helheim. When you are there, do not under any circumstances cross the Bridge of the Damned. There is no road back. Understand?
Boy.
Himmele. You must hurry. Through my garden there's a path leading to my boat. Take it. Return home. Dig up your past. Do whatever you need to do. Just bring me back the Bridgekeeper's heart. And your son may survive.
Freya. When last we spoke, I was...
No. You were right to distrust the word of a god. No need to explain. Not to me, not for that. I will keep him safe. That's a mother's promise.
Helheim of all places. You all right, brother?
I will do what I must. Leave me be.
Okay, so we've got quite an interesting section coming up here. Freya's basically said we're going to have to go to Helheim, which is effectively the underworld of Nordic mythology. And we've got to find the keeper of the bridge, I think it was, and basically take his heart, or its heart. Now, Kratos is going through a lot of sort of old feelings and obviously trying to remember his past. He knows what he needs to do. He can't use a frost-based weapon in Helheim. It won't have any effect. So we're going back to his house. And as I said, fans of God of War will know what's coming. And I was literally losing my crap here. I was so sad I couldn't record it live because I was literally just muttering to myself at this point. I was like, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. So, and also we get a little visit from Athena, who was basically pivotal in Kratos' undoing in the original games. Again, I won't say much more than that, but she screwed with him big time. So, you know, Kratos only moved to Scandinavia to basically get away from all that, and Midgard, to get away from all this. All he wanted was a quiet life. Yeah, things start getting a little freaky now, like this thunderstorm, and you've got these sort of atmospheric effects. It's pretty insane how it changes atmospherically. Awesome. So while we're heading back to Kratos' house, I want to talk a little bit about Mimir and his background. So Mimir was supposedly one of the wisest of the Aesir, and he was effectively beheaded, effectively at some point or another, as far as I'm aware. And and Odin basically preserved the head in like herbs and basically gained loads of like knowledge from him because he was supposedly like the smartest. So the other story is that basically Mimir is basically meant to know everything pretty much, or know most things about mythology and lore. So he was really useful to the likes of Odin and what have you. Now, we're heading back up the path here. I'll talk a bit more about Mimir in the future, but again, my knowledge is very, very minimal, so bear with me. We're heading up the path here back to Odin's house, back to Kratos' house, and we've got these frost beasts waiting for us. And obviously, I know full well that the Leviathan axe isn't super effective against these guys, so I end up using my fists quite a lot. But again, this atmosphere and this weather is mad, like how much it's changed since Atreus left us. So, with Mimir as well, it's worth noting that it's sometimes argued within different mythologies whether he was Aesir or whether he was a giant. But in this game, it's pretty obvious he was considered Aesir. He wasn't a very giant when we met him. But the main thing that a lot of people do agree on is that basically Odin used Mimir's head as a fountain of knowledge. Effectively, preserves it within herbs and effectively used him as a well of knowledge and inspiration and insight as well. It's one thing a lot of mythologists do agree on, and it's quite ironic that Kratos is basically using him in the same way. He's carrying his head and using him very much like Odin would have in the mythology. So it's told. He's using him for insight, information, and as a danger warning as well. So yeah. Basically, I just ran up a few items here because I had a funny feeling a big cutscene was coming up, and I thought, you know what, I'm just going to get everything before something kicks off, because something will probably kick off. So I'm going to go into Kratos' house now, and this is a pretty pivotal moment, so I'm going to, like I said, leave it to it, and I'll be back afterwards to talk about what's going on.
There's nowhere you can hide, Spartan. Put as much distance between you and the truth as you want. It changes nothing. Pretend to be everything you are not. Teacher, husband, father. But there is one unavoidable truth you will never escape. You cannot change. You will always be a monster.
I know. But I am your monster no longer.
So yeah, at this point, I was literally
Let's see what those blades can do.
losing my shit to get the Blades of Chaos back after not being able to use them the entire game was pretty nuts. I was so happy to be able to wield these things again. So the Blades of Chaos are effectively a mark. It's a gift from the original God of War, the Greek God of War, Ares, to Kratos to show his servitude. The chains that are bound to him are literally part of his body. They are bound to his arms, hence why he was wearing the bandages before, because it's just wounds there now. And he's only taken them back because these are the only things that could hurt the ne'er-do-well, should we call them, in Helheim. So when we do get there, if we do meet any resistance, which knowing Kratos will probably go, the Blades of Chaos will be really helpful. They have a lot of elemental attacks, so they use fire a lot, fire absorption, and they specialise in mid to short range attacks, and as you can see they are very, very, very fluid and very, very easy to combo with. Like, you can button mash with these things and pull off some exquisite combos, and yes, you can upgrade them, so we're going to get into that a little bit more in the future. I think we need an item we haven't had yet. So I was nerding out here. Again, as someone who played most of the original Gods, well, all the original Gods of War, I was nerding out. And the ability to combine it with the shield as well, I thought that was really
Ah,
cool.
yes, those blades will serve quite well in Helheim. Oh, I believe I see a door to the realm between realms over there, in your own front yard, no less. Take the shortcut
So
back to the
yeah,
realm
basically
travel
there's going to be
temple,
quite a
then
bit
on
of
to Helheim,
talking
yeah?
now, and I don't want to interrupt all of it, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to sign off here. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed this episode and the format it's taken. I might do more episodes like this if you've enjoyed it, and I might do the lore thing again. Again, it's kind of up to you, to be honest. So comment what you think below. And again, I do apologise for the sparsity in episodes. Again, Christmas, New Year, life, and my minor surgeries have been pretty. What's the word for it? It's been pretty unproductive for me the last few weeks. So I hope you appreciate that. And like I say, if you've enjoyed this episode, just let me know in the comments below, and leave a comment anyway, because it really does help me out, and it really does help the video out. And that like button helps too. And obviously, if you can, share it to social media. I really do appreciate that. Again, it helps me out. So thank you very much indeed. I do hope you're enjoying God of War, and I'll see you in the next episode. So thank you very much. Enjoy the rest of this episode. There's only about 5 minutes left, so I'll say goodbye now. Have a wonderful day, and I really do hope you had a lovely, happy New Year. Take care, everyone. See you soon.
Well, I'm pretty sure you weren't talking to me back there. Anything you'd like to get off your chest, brother? I can assure you I'm unsurpassed in keeping confidences. Well, you know where to find me. And for the record, I'd already guessed you were Greek. Athena? Dead giveaway.
What? Hey! You reek of foreign magic! Sweet Nana's nethers. What are those? I've never seen the like. That's gotta be a family heirloom.
No. Nor will it ever be.
Son, my brother and me created me Mjolnir for the big idiot. I know from quality. And them special. Hey, where's the little turd?
He has fallen ill.
No. What happened? Aesir?
No. The fault is mine. And my responsibility to make it right.
Well, we all gotta take responsibility sometime. Huh? Say, what can I do to help him? I can do things. When I should tag along?
No. Your work here is enough.
All right. So where are you off to in such a hurry?
The realm of the dead.
Helheim? Shit, this is serious. I'll be keeping my eye on you. Don't worry, kids are tough. When I was his age, I cut my own head clean off, and I'm none the worse for wear.